All right, welcome to the tube barn. We've been out a little bit. Weather's been shitty. It's a little better now. People outside shooting guns. The neighbors' children sound like they're possessed by the devil or something out there, but you know, it's all good. We're back into the barn and we're gonna work on this amp. Now, I've done a little bit offline and there's some stuff that I didn't want to show you only because it would take too long, but I'm gonna show you what I did. Also want to mention, layout, I mentioned 1,000 times and I mentioned 1,000 more. Layout is very important. And with this, just a slight little change will screw up what you're doing. I decided, if you look, this little pilot light, it's not a pilot light, but it's your on light. It's a little LED thing that hooks to the mains. Normally I'll use something like this, or they have another one, it looks kind of like a fuse holder, like that, except with a bulb socket here and two little ends. Like that one better. I don't really like using this one. It's kind of a pain in the ass. But this hooked, or we should say was powered, or is powered by your heaters. And now that I'm not doing that, it kind of messed me up because you go in, you run that to your light bulb, to your pilot light. Then you run your heaters off of that. It's a connection. It makes it easy. You know, of course, I'm doing the two different voltages, and so it's still a bit difficult because I have two more to put somewhere, but the fact is it screwed me up, so I spent a little time and I decided right here I'm going to do it here. One set there, center tap there. Probably able to run the center tap off of the main secondaries to that same one and then send it to ground. That'll be good. I'm not going to hook up the main power, it's way over there, until later because it just gets in the way. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do everything, so I'm going to run that. And I like to use some kind of heavier solid, like a 14 gauge wire. Not because it's really needed, but it does beef up the whole power. And two, because it's 14 gauge solid, it's very stiff and it's easy to run across the board and keep it in place because it doesn't really want to move very well. And remember, this is going to be flipped upside down. If you do like amps like that, it does make it a bit better because you're not worrying about that. Gravity is keeping everything down because this is flipped upside down. Sometimes you got to go in there and put a bunch of support in there. Now I put this in here. It's well, I had one. It's I don't have one next to me. It's I'm going to use this to connect my my power tube cathodes to ground. You know, for testing, so I can run that to that, that to that. I think I have enough distance in the right angle that I can actually run the resistor directly to it, which makes that the test point. Also, off of my Z, I can run from here direct to the power tube, but I couldn't quite reach there. I was just like about a 1/4 inch off. Plus, it was going to be a little weird. So I can run that to there, and then the resistor into there. That's for the which one is that for? That's for the screen. No, yeah, the screen. We're going to run up a transformer, but I'm going to do this a little different than I used to do. I used to do it where I would do the power supply and then I'd run from the preamp all the way here, kind of just like the signal would go. But what I want to do is I'm going to do up the power supply. Then I'm going to do the power amp, which is probably what I should have been doing anyways, because you can go in there and you could test it. You could just plug it in, put the tubes in, plug it in. Do I have any noise coming from my amp section? Because once you got it all wired up, even if you disconnect it, you could be getting weird power transfer, you know, leakage somewhere. But if you put the power supply in, do up your power amp section, including the inverter. That way you plug it into the speaker and you just run it. If you got any issues, you're going to hear them and you're going to know it's in my power section. But if that's clean and then later you have problems, you know, well, it came from your preamp. So that's what we're going to try to do here. I'm hoping I can do it just for the fact that I am not 100% sure I know where a certain chord is. So that's what it is. Let's keep on. I decided to put this here in this direction. All in all, it probably would have been easier just to put a hole in the bottom, except that I have my power transfer, my output transformer below this, so I couldn't do that. And it was too tall just to put in here direct, because I would have loved to have just stood it up and had it clamped to this board. If I was using a deeper pan, that could have happened. But this is the pan we're using. It looks kind of crazy, but I think we're ready to go. So let's do it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the heaters just to get them out of my way. And remember, we're here, multiple colors. And I just put my glasses on so I can see. I bought, check these babies out. These are nice. It actually has for solid and stranded, which is pretty cool. So what we're going to do, I believe these are 18 gauge, so let's go 18 gauge. These are stranded, 18 gauge stranded. Well, apparently not. I didn't like that, so you know, whatever, it's wrong. What I'm doing is I'm trying to find out which ones are which. So before I cut them all, I'm just going to do some continuity testing. What the heck? Did not want to come off. So, got me. Put that there. You can see continuity. So, we're gonna hook to this green one. Not there, not there. Hold on. There we go. It's not there. So, this green is the preamp tubes. I'm going to stick it down there to get it out of my way so I know what it is. Or actually, it's easy. It's the only one I've done. It's the only green one that I have stripped. Where's my thingy? Where'd it go? There it is. Well, that's lucky. I literally did strip those two sides. Cool. Well, that makes it easy. Now, these two are the ones I'm going to use. Oh, these are a mess. So, and I unbraided it, and I'll use braid loosely. Sorry, I whacked the thingy. We're going to keep it about here. Okay, we see. Take these off so I can see the monitor. We're going to bring it in here. I'm going to put my preamp ones on this side and my power amp ones on this side. And the reason for that is because I'm using the preamp heaters supply for my regulators, because they're 5-volt regulators and I'm going to use those for that. So I need them on this side so I can run it here. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to mount that yet, but that's the fun. So get those out of the way. About there. I'm going to cut them about here. All right. And we're going to put them in here. Put my glasses back on so I can see. We don't need this. Get it out of my way. Probably won't need this for a little bit, so I'm going to put it way over there. It's off, yeah. So, okay, and we do this one. So weird with this camera in the way. Last video I smacked the crap out of it several times. This red wire is a little weird. What I'm going to do, now it doesn't really matter because remember, dealing with AC here, we're not doing anything weird, so it doesn't matter, not polarized or anything like that. Technically then. So I'm going to leave them in there like that. Should have done the other ones first because I'm not sure everything I'm doing with this, but let's we're going to supply, I like to put, I'm going to have this go white. I like this little white cable. It fits good. It's a little smaller. And it fits good into the circuit boards. I like this one. So, and I'm going to make them a little long because I honestly don't know where they're going. So I'm just going to be a little wasteful, unfortunately. But, you know, if you have time to go and lay out the living crap out of your board and your pan and everything else, you know, you should go do that because it makes everything better. But I don't. This is 20. This is 20 gauge. You know, we should probably strip these babies up because we need to do this and get this out of the way. So that is that. These are these. And what I have. The gray are the lower voltage and the green are the higher voltage. The orange is the center tap. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go there. We're going to cut them around here. Tape. These are to be 18, I think. I don't remember. Actually, I think they might be 20. But yeah, I think they're 20 stranded. Yeah, they're 20 stranded. Yeah. Let's see what 16 here does. I'm gonna see if we'll cut it. Yeah, that came off a little better. So yeah, for these ones we use the 16. I think I just cut the wire. I'd have to go look at the data sheet to verify. So we're gonna cut one into one. Is one longer? Yeah, that was a little longer. So we're gonna cut this one into here. Now these eyelets will only take so many wires. So when you're doing it, this is also why I hate stranded. If you don't know how much I hate stranded, go watch the video with me doing the heaters. I will explain to you in constant and unstopped and unnecessary detail how much I hate stranded wire. But sometimes you got to use what you got to use, and sometimes you need to use certain things. So that's just what it is. Okay, so there's that. What I probably should be doing is turning on my soldering iron. But honestly, the more crap you got in there, sometimes the better your solder will be. Got my water. Got your sponge, got to wet it. All right, that's all nice and wet. We're good. You're good. Don't want it too wet. You don't want like soppy wet. But, you know, it's all good. Okay. Okay, probably don't need it as hot as it was since we're not in so cold weather. Where's my solder? There's my solder. Remember, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Clean it off. Tin it up. Because that's the way that's good. Hold on. Yeah, thank you. Let's do this. Now, burning wires is always a concern. Remember when I said you don't want to use this, put the solder where your soldering point is. But sometimes you get like this, a little hard. And I think we're good. You don't have to be too much. These these eyelets, they'll like ball up in the bottom and drip out if you do too much. Now give it a minute. And remember, as I stated, don't breathe on what you're soldering because your breath can cause a temperature change and screw it all up. Now let's get the other one. What the heck? So many things in my way. Always make sure that your length isn't too long. Remember, these are on risers, but we don't want to get it all the way down and touch the pan. Good thing I put my glasses on because I was going to put it in the wrong hole. Don't put it in the wrong hole! Bro. And I think I'm going to make this a little longer. Okay, I got that one. Okay, so we should be good. They're all in their place. Sometimes a little bit give better conductivity. Let's just stick it in the hole. Give it a second. Start touching the other wires, not the soldering iron. God, get some lead. Now this solder has flux in it, so it should be fine. You don't need the flux. That's why it smokes, because it's got flux on it. I think that's good. That's not a bad solder. All right, so now we got those ones. Let's give it a second. Now I said, these are now connected to the transformer. Going to, the heaters here. Ugh. That's definitely not a super pro job there. That just sucks. Anyways, now let's do the other ones. Now, actually, guess not. Verify, 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 verify. Yep, not there, not there, and that's what we want. Get the red one. Yep. Plus you can check it, make sure you didn't screw up. You got continuity all the way there. That way you know you got, well, you got it good. You got a good connection. Now, doesn't mean necessarily your pin connection is good, just that your wires are running right. Because you could have a bad connection on your pin, but your connection on your wires that are daisy chaining, not necessarily. Out of trash. Okay. Also, when you're stripping wires, you want to see this always got curly. Yeah, it'll make it more of a pain in the ass. You want to straighten it out. Okay. Ooh, hit the camera. Hit it again. These aren't the easiest. This red one's kind of weird. It doesn't want to come off. The green one seems to come off pretty good, but this red wire is kind of a pain in the ass. And yeah, the green one comes off pretty good. Okay, so like I said, it doesn't matter which one it goes in. So let's try to get Transformer, gray. We're going gray. Okay, what do we got here? We got this. We got actually, I'm gonna. Yeah. You want to leave them a little bit long in case we got a room to. We need a little room. A little room to move them around once we start finishing it. When I say these were, it was called the 16, I think. Yeah. Boy, these strip wonderfully. Okay, so we have that one is that one. That one is there. So we're gonna cut this one off a little bit more. But that's there. We'll cut over there. Yeah. Don't want to come off. Now, you ask the question, hey Brian. Oh shit, I told you my name. Uh-oh. Have you ever built an amp drunk off gas? The answer is yes. Next question is, have you ever had to go back and fix a bunch of shit after doing that? The answer is also yes. Well, you do you. Sometimes it happens, especially when you're doing really complex crap. So, I don't recommend getting all drunk when you're playing with high voltage electricity, but you know, we all have to do what we all have to do. And some of us die. So, if your plan is not to die, then I'd recommend not doing that. I generally don't do the testing while I'm drunk, but if I'm just sitting here wiring stuff, it's fine. This is a fairly simple amp and comparative, so I'm not really worried about that. Ugh. Yeah, doing stuff over here near the edge of the pan, kind of pain in the ass. Okay, so let's get this baby in there. And we only have to do these 2 wires because we're not using this secondary for anything else, so it's just the 2. Okay, I think I'm going to wire him, solder him in before I play with the other one. Metal's low cold. Not yet. There we go. We're starting to melt. That looks good. Give it a second, make sure it's set. It's shiny. It looks good. Ooh, hot. And where's the red wire? There it is. Yeah. A lot of these insulations are some high temp stuff, so it's really nice. You can really get it hot. Okay. I think it's hemo time. Hemo time. Oh. Yeah. What all came out? Well, that's what it is. I think I'm gonna put the red one in first. It's getting a little crowded in there. Stranded wire, kiss my ass. Yeah, once we get away from this corner, everything will be a little easier. Also, would change the way that I'm doing the rectifier, the direction. I don't like the direction it is, but you know, hey, Oh, damn it. Get your butt in the hole. Ah. This one's being a pain in the ass. Okay, he's being a dick too. So. Okay. Okay, we're gonna hold that here and hope I don't burn the shit out of my hand. Okay, we'll stay in there. Yes. Now it is possible. These get warm. They're gonna want to pop out. It happens. Just put a little more juice on this baby. There we go. Sometimes if you have to, put it on the soldering iron, it'll ball up. You see, I don't know if you saw that, but it'll be a big ball of solder and then suddenly it'll drop into the eyelet. That's usually the point where it reached that proper temperature. So that works good. Yeah, that was good. So let's get some continuity test. Definitely, you're going to need to buy one of these. Yeah, you can't do this without one of these. Just not a good idea. You're just going to hope everything's good. Now the reason why that is doing that is because it's running through the transformer. It's all good. It's running through the transformer, so you should be able to do this. Seriously, why do you have the same color here? Should be this, should have it too. Yeah. Center tap. So yeah, so they're all running good. What kind of ohms we got here? I'm just curious. Huh? 0.2 ohms. All right, so we're good. Very good. They're all connected. Windings go wind. And so it's actually the same exact, drop my TMOS. They're the exact same wire. They just get tapped at different points. So we'll get conductivity now that they're all connected. All right. Let's get some center taps done. I worry though that I don't have enough room because that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if I can get 4 wires into that hole. So little concern with that. But let's see if we can do it. If not, then we'll do something else. This is the center tap for the heaters. It's orange. I want to use the same color as the screen. Well, it's a transformer screen. Just a ground. But this is a center tap. I'm going to cut the end. Okay, well, of course I'm cutting it out to do this. So we're going to cut it here, up there. And I say that's 16. God, these strips, like, God, freaking wonderful. I mean, seriously, this is good. This is good. So easy. That is going to go down into this one. Stand up here because everything's getting in the way. Okay, you need to go somewhere else. You're driving me nuts. Okay, you go in this hole.
Okay, oh damn it, get in there. Can I just move you down like that? Okay, you stay there. Now, I'm not gonna maybe use the one I want. Now, these two yellows are the center tap for the mains, the high voltage mains. I'm gonna have to go from the front. Even I don't really want to do that, but it is what it is. We'll just be a little high. Though I am tempted to put this somewhere else, just for the fact that this is a pain in the ass. This is going to be, I honestly don't think I can get that many cables into the hole. But I'm keeping them long, so let's just try. This way I'm not cutting them too short. And here, and we'll go here, just a little longer. These new ones are nice. There's a Milwaukee. It's pretty cool. Let's just put them on 14 and see what happens. See if I can strip that off. Here we go. There we go. Get this a little longer. There we go. So we're going to go here. Okay, so see if we get them in there. Ooh. We are dealing with center tap. Let's see if I can just put these together, make them. There we go. Let's see, maybe I can make this a little easier. There we go. And with that, they'll go in the freaking hole. Hot, hot, hot. You know, bit hot. They're a little going in the wrong direction. But yeah, so boom. He's in the hole. Well, he was in the hole. Sometimes you need to weigh these babies down. There we go. Weigh them down. Now I'm going to put nice ground wire. This is some overkill. Actually, I don't know if I can get this in here. I'm going to try. Okay. I really cut a lot off. We'll be fine. I'm going to cut the end. It's a little long. So it's a little long. Let's cut that a little shorter. Put it in there. See, it's connecting all the way up to where the real gauge is. So we will be fine with that. Now let's solder this baby in. Definitely tin the crap out of it. Get some nice wet conductivity here. Heat transference. Sometimes, like I said, you can put a bubble there. It'll reach out. And then you can start hitting the wires. It doesn't want to go in. There we go. Now we're getting in. There we go. Now just there, it's going to drop. It's dropping. Yeah, it's getting into the hole. We're good. Give it a second. Celebrate good solder with beer. Should be good now. Take this out. And we're good. Now we can manipulate this. You see, I'm kind of getting in the way of my rectifier here. We'll be fine. It lays flat. It's all the same crap. These don't get hot unless you're, well, if it gets hot, you got some serious issues with your amp here.
Had to take a break, go get a beer, because you know that's what we do here. Next thing I'm doing, so we're going to connect the high voltage mains. So, well, technically the secondaries, but you know I'm calling them mains. The main secondaries, the high voltage secondaries. We're gonna do that. What is this one? Why is it so uneven? I don't know. What it is, doesn't matter, we're gonna cut them. So, I'm doing something a little different. I'm gonna put some inline fuses, which are these. Boom. Inline fuses, the fuse goes like that. And I'm assuming they do it like this so you can cut it where you're doing, where you want it. I've already cut this one. I am gonna cut it a little shorter. Because what we're doing, where's my, they're gonna go in here. One there, one there. Then we're gonna diode. Then we're gonna diode, diode. And this will become our B plus to come over to here. Yeah, not liking that too much, but I have a hole there. I'm gonna run it down and pop it back up here. Try to see if I can get it to stay. It'll be, this is a pretty strong capacitor, so it should DC it pretty good. So I'm not worried about too much transfer into here. If I could thought about it, what would have been good is use a really nice black wire, drill it down, but the transformer's right there, right there. So it'd be like, go run the outside and come back up. That'd be cool. Like I said in another video, the old style, they'd have the power supply capacitors on the outside with another small pan. Those pans are extremely expensive, and that way it's not in here. It's easy. A deeper pan, I could have done some cool stuff. I mentioned it earlier, but let's do that. But anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run these to the top. One here, one there. And then I'm going to put the inline fuses going to here. I've never done this before. Not difficult. It's just, it's new. I saw these. I thought it was cool. Because what I hate is you have your fuses. The main fuse will be in here. I'll do that later once I get these wired up because I don't want it in there. And you have your fuses back here. You got them running across all over goddamn freaking AC current. From here to here, it's okay. It's still a problem. But then you have these, which are still high voltage AC running, and you're trying to map them, and it kind of sucks. I don't like that. So I'm going to inline fuse it. And two, if you start blowing fuses, you blow your main fuse, maybe it's not a problem. But you start blowing your secondary fuses, you probably have a problem, and you need to open up your amp anyway. So having them inside isn't really a problem. It's forcing you to get in there and fix it. So we're going to do that. Blue one is going here. This is your bias. So that's going to end up going right there. But let's first get these done because we don't want this in our way. Now, this is going here. This is our main power supply. This is our secondary. Okay, well, that's a... Let me get this in here. Get these out of the way. Moving cables. It's always a problem. Okay, so we're going to do that. Well, if I had a cool clamp, I'd almost want to just use it here, but this thing is so close to here. Oh, God, this really bugs me. We're fine. We're not going to hit anything, but then that does. Seriously, is this one lower than the other one? Yeah, actually, looking at this, yeah, that's a problem. Shit.
This is actually, this one ended up when I drilled the hole. Sorry, move back here. This one is lower, significantly. Did I screw this up on the... Yeah, you can see. End up just slightly lower. So, yeah, that is a problem. Not an unfixable problem, but a slight problem. But the fact that there's a hole actually makes it a little bit better. So, we cover the hole, it'll be fine. It doesn't touch it. Put some like tape or... Actually, I don't even think it's going to need it. It takes a significantly high amount of voltage to arc. But got it on there, it'll be fine. If not, I'll test it. And they have that liquid tape. I'll put that in there and I'll fix that. Remember, don't fuck up your drilling. Yeah, not happy with that. Or you don't even really need secondaries, like I said, but we'll do that now. But I am worried about, because it's so low, I am worried about when I solder the wires that it's going to go low. So let's get in here, see what we can do. I don't know if these will bend. This would be nice if they would. Because I never like the fact that they're so, how cool they do, so damn close together. Let's just bring them out like this. One, they're not going to touch as much. And they're the hell away from each other. Hell yeah. That'll work. I almost want to take them out. Let's just get these. Wire, red. We're gonna cut them here. Don't fuck this up. That'll work. That'll work. Fine, let's see, what was that, 10? All right. Things going everywhere. Oh, I didn't mention it earlier, but I have my turrets in. They were kind of interesting. So we're gonna take this. What did I say? This is 16. Boy, they got like all kinds of crap in this thing. So 16. They're gonna go here. Now, what helps when you got them like that in the bottom, pull it out. I like to go the inside out. That way, like I said, inside out. Oops, inside out. I'm just going to start it like this because this might just be easier. I've never liked wiring these too much. You're always in just a lack of room. Oh, crap. Yeah. Yeah, it's doing like this. That's why you don't do this, because it'll lose. That worked. This is definitely where you don't want a shitty solder, but yeah, that seemed to work pretty good. And this one is going to go up in here, like I said, inside out. The reason why I want inside out, because it won't touch and poke at the other side. So you're going clean. If there's any ugliness, it's on the outside and not on the inside. But remember when I said I was a little worried and I just did it stupid. I just freaking, when you're doing this, sometimes you forget your whole mission, which is not to have it go down because of the closeness to the chassis pan. So let's try to get this hooked up. Like, God damn it. Temperature's starting to drop a little bit. So you want it like this. It isn't always easy. There, we want it like that. So when we have it, yeah, see, we're gonna, I don't know if I said we're gonna weigh it down. Yeah, weigh it down. That's not very heavy, but it'll work. That's a pretty decent solder. That one down there, not as much. That was a decent one. Let's see if I can do better on this one. There we go. That's taking a while to cool. Okay. Now that we have that, pull it back out. Go back in. There we go. That's not bad. Now what I do with the nut, the round nut. Remember, you don't want these things to be so in there tight that you can't get the switch off. One, because it makes the repairs easy, and two, we have to take some of these things off the nuts. With the nuts, you probably don't have to take it all out, but just in case there's an issue when getting the faceplate on, you want to be able to pull it out. Okay, so it looks like we were okay with that. Hold on, did I just totally screw up? Yes. Fucking bitch. These are supposed to be on top, but I got fixated with the bottom. But that's okay. And the only reason why I wanted them on the top is because this thing would be easier fit on the bottom. But at the same time, this is much bigger than I thought it was going to be. So, you know, actually, fuck it. Yeah, I wanted this on the bottom. Like I said, I've never done these inline before, but I think having it on the bottom would have been a hell of a lot easier, but at the same time, not necessarily, because it might make it very difficult to actually open. because you want a little bit of flexibility in this. Do I have one in there? No, that should stay the same length, so here we go. You want to come up behind here and just go, ho boom. So let's see how this works. Let's do it on this side. Yeah, that should probably be fine. Here's my hemos. There they are. Well, this is why I wanted to do it on the top. You know, it's a switch. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it was just a matter of convenience. At the same time, this looks very inconveniently placed to actually get it on or off. So I am a little bit worried about that. I'm thinking maybe we want to put this end here. We want to go there. I'll just put it here. We're going to cut it here. I don't know why that's got these springs on there. I don't think that's a good idea for electronics. If I actually put them here and go like that, it might be fine. I don't really like it here. Okay, this is that. We're definitely going to have to run it, try to run it underneath, because we don't want this voltage, because this is very much AC, and we don't want this getting near this, because this is signal. So honestly, I don't really care for this. Either way, there's on top, on bottom, it's not my problem. It's just, I mean, you can put them in here, but when you're trying to actually replace a fuse, I mean, that sounds like that might be a bit of a problem. Boom. Nah, not too much, but a little bit. So I think we cut them short here so we can pull it that way. Okay, so it did work. I'm just trying to make sure we're good. So yeah, I think if we do it like that, we'll be fine. I'm gonna cut this just a little bit shorter, so get a little more control. What freaking gauge is this? This thing is huge. I got a damn 14 gauge. Yeah, 14. 14 stranded, 14 solid. Okay, yeah, these are freaking huge. So we will need to bend the crap out of these things. Get them way the hell over there, because these wires are huge. Okay, so I know I said in and out, but yeah, this might be a little hard to do this. Wow, yeah, these are. Yeah. Definitely have to go out to in. That is just too much freaking. There we go. There we are. We're starting to heat up. There we go. All right. Okay, that worked. Now we're going to get this one. I want to go up to the bottom with this one. I'm not 100% sure. We want there, but we don't want crazy. I think this might work. So, hopefully this works. If not, well then, you make changes. Gotta be adjustable. Can't be a bitch, bro. Or is it the word flexible? I don't know. Who cares? Okay. Okay, a little too far in. I want to have, yeah, I'm too far in. You want a mechanical connection, not just a solder connection. So you need a little bit on both sides when you crimp it iron together. There you go. I need a we're good. Let's get it in there. Come on, get your connection here. There you go. You see me, I touch the soldering tip because I want to get the soldering a little more wet so it's really conducting the heat. And then I can go to the other side and solder from there. Yeah, did it cloud up a little bit? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's clouding a little bit, but the temperature's dropping. Plus, that's a lot of material to solder. It's a very thick post, very thick wire. But we should be okay. It's not signal, it's power. And that's a little more forgiving. Okay, I think we're good with that. Okay, let's I'm gonna take a break a second. I'll be back in a minute. I did a little mod. Just one thing you're gonna do like crazy when you're building these things is drilled a couple holes so I could run them underneath and bring them up like that. That way they'll stay in a better place. I think I have enough flex. I left enough flex in them for that. So let's cut them. It's probably going to be a little hard to cut
in strip just because of how short they're going to be. I'm going to probably bring them up a little bit, not too much. So I'll cut it about there. I need some just wire cutters. Let's see if that worked. Glasses on. Gotta stand up to do this stuff.
And don't whack the camera. All right, go in there. These are really, I think they're meant for automotive with a lot of high amperage. So yeah, that'll work just fine. Let me get this one here. About there. Now I gotta go get some diodes. And we start hitting this thing. Ah, whack the camera. Whack the shit out of it. Okay. So that's good. Definitely got enough gauge in these cables for this, for sure. Okay, there we got that. See that? That's nice and pretty. Let's
Get some diodes.
these are 1 amp, 1000 volt, rectifier, push compliant. I've used multiple types of diodes. I like avalanche diodes. They've seemed to work me fine, but I'm just using these standard ones for these videos. Because, you know, why not? 1, 2, 3, 4. Come with a big tape reel. Got a whole lot of them. So they're cool. Now let's put these babies in. Remember, the white line is the direction. Yeah, I'm amazed these little things do this. Huh? So, boom, they go down. You want to measure them. You don't want to go too far into the hole, but you don't want to be right up on it. So that's good. Cut it right there. That'll work good. You got a good length. A little close. They're fine. Okay, so put that one in there. That one in there. All right, we're good with that. Next one. Yeah. Cut the end off. Oop, I lost it. So I like these hemos and get all up in there. These big ass wires aren't giving us a whole lot of room. Remember, we got to put those capacitors in there because the rating of these is a little short, which is why we use double, but you use the capacitors to even out the load. Who remembers that? Go watch the other videos. Also, visit Valve Wizard. All right. This is where things speed up a little bit. Dropping in components, getting her done. All right. Is that right? Yeah, we should be good there. So this is your rectifier. If I can get my hands in there. Okay, all go in that direction. Now let's check these out. I did this in another video. If you haven't seen them, you check it out. It's a lot easier if you check out the videos. Actually, you know, I'm not going to use any ones I played with. I get some new ones. I like they're blue. I like them because they're blue. Yeah, I know. It's all good. I know you got a thing with blue, dude. It's all good. When we begin this, you're gonna have to start telling me how to build this. I know. Oh, I forgot. These ones are taped in here like insanity. God damn. Oh, shit. That's a lot of paper. So we're going to have to bend these all kinds of out like that, and there. Yeah, actually, right there on that bend's almost right. So we're good there. It's a little much, but we're okay. Now let's cut them shorter. Long, gotta cut them shorter. Cut them short. And we're gonna put them in there. I got enough room in this thing. Yeah, I think I'm a little long. Yeah. These ones are very, very soft. These leads, so they not very forgiving. Okay, so there we go. This one got a little weird. Yeah, it doesn't want to go in. The leads are extremely soft. There we go. I got it to go in. I think I'm going to solder this one in now. I don't want to deal with it popping out. And they will pop out. The wires are going to be harder to, these thick wires, sometimes you just got to get it in there and see if it'll plop in there. These thick wires will absorb a ton of heat. Yeah, I'm going to go like that. See how it just dropped in there? Yeah. Okay, let's go with another one. I find it weird that these things do what they do. Just electronics are so freaking weird. Because they're passing AC, so they're bringing back AC, so you're not getting dirty at the end. I don't know, it's kind of weird. I don't really have it explained why it does work so well doing this because of the whole concept. But it is what it is. Okay. Actually, I'm going to solder this one in because it was giving me bullshit. This one here. There we go. Yeah, it's getting hot there. I'm gonna turn the temperature just a little bit up since the temperature's dropping. That's not bad. You don't want to get them too hot too long because they'll start giving you shit. I'm gonna do it with my capacitor. There it is. Okay, cut these things down. Emails on, like I said. Not a whole lot of room. There we go. It actually went in better than the other side. Oh shit. Let me go in there. Okay, we're good. Now, this is where we start burning wires because it's getting a little crowded. Hell yeah. Okay. I'll make sure I got a nice flap of solder in there. There we go. Yeah, all the back sides all good. Gonna touch the wires. The wires solder together. Yeah, we're good. Wow, that flux was pretty juicy on that one. Okay, let's get in here. And see, we don't got that big ass wire in there absorbing all the heat. Everything goes pretty clean. Now, we have to deal with the wire that's going to go from here to our B plus cap. Okay. Oh shit! I screwed up. Crap. Okay, I screwed up. Raise your hand if you know I screwed up. Oh well, we'll deal with it. It's easy. This isn't easy. I forgot to put the cap from here to there. I got too happy wanting to solder those things together that I didn't do it. No big whoopee, those ones are easy. You don't want to heat your things up a million times, but we should be fine. We're not doing a lot. I mean, it takes a lot. They're rated. If you look at the ratings for a certain amount of heat, they can handle it, which is why you don't want your leads too short, because then you will start cooking. Okay, and let's do it right instead of wrong. I said doing this and talking to people while you're doing it is a little more difficult. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in this one first so it's held down, and then I'll do the center one. Should be easier because it'll be anchored. You look at the Fender PA135, they do this in a full wave rectifier version. I always wondered why they did that. But the fact it's a full wave is a little bit weirder, but hey, it's all good. See, he's got so much paper on this thing. And hope. I'm a little too far down in the hole, so let's just lay these down in a weird way. Okay. Wire. I need to do a long wire. And we'll just put this one in there. Yeah, what is this, 20? Strand of 20. me see if this going up now is easier than doing it later. God, my hand does not want to do this today. Where's my hemos? There we go. Get it in there. I think I'm going to solder his tip. Ready to go. There he is right there. All right, he's in there. These are in there. Not greatly, but the bee will be in a minute. Here we go. That's good soldering. Give it a second to dry. Okay, so those are in there. Now, one thing you got to worry about when you're using tools to get stuff in there, that with this, you're going to have to get this thing hot, the already soldered area, get it in hot, then shove this thing in there. There you go. And then do it. One thing you don't want, because when you're holding stuff, I mean, if you have to use tools, hold things in place, they turn into a heat sink. So, depending on how you're doing it, it's kind of a problem. You want to get it hot. Damn it, this stuff is so freaking flimsy, it's really hard to work with it. I mean, is it really necessary to be so flimsy? Most of these things are designed to go on a circuit board, so I don't really care. Get there, and then jam it in there. It's you can do is come back later, do more solder, and then all right, there we have it, our rectifier. Now, you don't need these capacitors anywhere else, so let's do the bias. It might take me a second to find some parts because this one's getting a little more funky. I also need to look at the thing. What is this? This is a, we have a 10K and 100 UF. All right. Okay, what did I just do with my things? Remember, we are in bias, so we are in negative. So we want to have it negative. We're not going with the current. I'm sorry, with the positive voltage, we're going negative. So we're only allowing negative voltage. So we're going to take this, there, boom, and there, boom. That looks good. Let's straighten them out, cut them, trim them. See how much faster this is going? Okay, so again, there's your diode. It's going in the right direction. We have a 100 UF. We also have a 10K. Which is one of these. We're going to use a 10K. Going to the pot. Wow, that's probably could have measured that before I did it. So be it. It'll stand up a little bit. We'll be okay. Okay, so he's going to stand up a little high, and that's okay. And seriously, I definitely wasn't thinking when I drilled those ones, because we're going 100 UKs. 50, 50, 50. Where's my hundreds? There, it's hundreds. I like to use the old Spragues, just for whatever, shits and giggles, shits and grins even. But because of size, I'm going to use one of these, what's it, Illinois or some crap? That's a Nichian, whatever it is. So because of the size. I'm not really worried about it. I mean, they're both good products. Remember, you're also, look at that, that's a little short. You're also going to make sure that your positive is to ground, because we're going negative. Okay. So we put it in like that. Put it in like that. All right. That is. I wouldn't say it's pretty, but hey, we're all good. So we're going to solder the center together, because the other ones we need a bunch of stuff. Other stuff than what these. So this is a connection in the center. We're going to all right. Take some beer. And we got to take our Mr. Blue over here. That's get him underneath here. I'm gonna cut him. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit, and there. We're gonna cut him here. I got, say, was it 10? Just gonna cut some of this away. I can't see. And let's say it's 16. Yeah. Gonna put it in there, because that's where you go. Okay. It's definitely a little. We'll be fine. I'm just worried about a little high, but I think we're good. When you clean your soldering tip, make sure you retin it, because I've had these things disintegrate when you don't do that. I learned that the hard way. Your tips will freaking straight up disintegrate. It said sometimes you just fill it up, let it settle, let it blop, everything gets hot, it steams, and you let it go. That one might be pretty good. Don't breathe on it. Yeah, that one's the best out of all. Nice and shiny. Okay, now we have that goes to the pot. And this is where things I don't think I'm going to do this right now because I have other things to solder. So we will get back to this one in a minute. We still have to ground them here. This needs to go ground. That needs to go to the pot. We also need to set up this. So I'm gonna go get another beer and I'm gonna pee. Be right back. You know, after thinking about it, I think having them on the top was actually the better choice. It gave me a little more play. I think if I would have put them on the bottom, there wouldn't be any play and have a really difficult time changing the fuses. So I think that actually works out better. And that's cool. So what are we doing? I'm gonna run this wire over here, up here. We're gonna get this power supply down. I'm gonna put this, I think running that underneath the fuses would be the best. It does have AC, but it's a massive amount of plastic in between it, and it's going to hold this down so this thing doesn't ride up here. So I think that is the way I'm going to do that. So ride this thing. So we're just going to cut this here. Just getting it underneath there as its own little challenge. Probably running it from the other direction would have been easier, but hey, no, there we go. See, chemos are wonderful. You got to buy some of these, seriously. They sell them at most places that do this amp stuff. I'm pretty sure I saw them on the Tube Depot. You know me and Tube Depot. I like them, except for their shitty ass stranded wire. But yeah, they're all good. What the heck? This is also why I like the solid wire. It's a lot more stiff, and when I put it in place, it has more of a tendency to actually stay there. All right. Now, I like doing these little things because it keeps it in place. It's cool! It's getting cold. Okay, now, like I said, these are little snap-ons. Negatives on top, positive on the bottom, so I'm going to have to ground that negative, but it's a snap-in type. It's like has a special kind of connector that it snaps into, but you just got to wrap your wire around it and it works fine. So when you're looking for parts that maybe you want to use that aren't standard in these things like they used to be, the high voltage ones used to be around, they're just not around as much. Like these ones are 500 fiber and this is 600, and it works a lot better for what? These should all be at least 550, but the products are just not around. As I stated before, it's quite frankly maddening. I should just cut the goddamn thing. These are too straight. Getting a little hard to get in there. Yeah, it's definitely a little longer than I needed it to be. We're gonna go put it in here. Yes, that's right. I'm just thinking about what I'm doing. Like I said, you can screw up because you forget what the next step is or how this is. And the reason why I was thinking that is because I have a resistor I'm going to put in there. My brain just stalled trying to confirm which end of the resistor it was going to be in. Well, that should have been, I probably need to loosen that and move this over a little bit because it's a little bit in my way. I might put that in last, or let me solder this to the post. Yeah, cool it'd be as well, I could just go like that, but no, we're not gonna do that. So let me get a wire, solder it to that post, and then I can put it in there because I'm not worried about it getting hot. If it's gonna get that hot, we got a problem. And just seriously, when these things get this small, they're kind of hard. Boom, boom, wrap around a little bit, cut a little shorter. Well, the others this small, they're hard to strip because you can't hold on to anything. I think I'm gonna go a little long on this because I really want it there. I may have just been stupid and I need to do this over again because I forgot how much I wanted. Yeah, I'm gonna start this over. I forgot that I really want to have a lot of wrap around. Like that, because I really want to wrap that baby. Then we're going to have here to there, to about there. And these PVC insulation ones are quite slippery. So we're going to put them in like that. Gonna go like this. Could have been shorter. That's okay. You gotta fix it later. It's a little easier. All right. That is a good wrap. You know, I'm stupid. Let's solder his ass in there before I start playing with it. Yeah, I don't like that. There we go, that's good. That's a good one. Now I can play with it. That in there. Like I said, this wire could have been a little shorter. But that's okay. Now let's get this baby. Oops. That's good. In there. Yeah, sound is okay. Turn that a little bit like that. There we go. Now, what we have here is we have to go from, where's my thingies? From here to here. This is the thing. We got, boom, this is your, damn it. Okay, yeah, okay. Well, we need to do this. Damn it. We're fine. I might just go and wrap that directly on it. This is our B+. I don't want to go here as a connection. I'd rather go here direct. So I'm going to go direct there. You're there, you're there. I almost want to put another hole there. This is a hole I have going from here and to get there, so I might want to put another hole here. Go up it. Or I just go straight here, we should be fine. I mean, it's pretty tight, so let me just go here. We're going to cut it here. So always think about the next step. Next step, think about it, what you're doing. Okay. Back on the camera. Need those hemos. So I'm going to resolder this onto it directly to the cap. So I think that's the best way. All right, there we go. Let's do this again. Okay, been explained to it. This red wire is the center of your output transformer. That's where the B+ goes. It goes into your output transformer, and then it comes out these two that go to your plate. And that's how the signal then does the transformer thing and comes out the other side. So yeah, so that's how that works. All right, so we can put that in there. We're fine. Good connection. That looks like a pretty good solder. Yep, that's not bad. Nice and shiny. There we go. Now, this goes from here to your next stage. And we're doing, at least I'm doing, a 10K per stage. Remember, we have B+, Z, Y, X, and W. Your B+ power transformer. Your Z are to your screen. Your Y is to your phase inverter plates. Your X are for the second or what's it? 1, 2, 3 stage, your second and third stage, and W is going to be the first stage. You don't have to do the W, but I have these here, so might as well. I know Marshall does it, and I'm trying to
copy of Marshall Design, so that's why I'm doing that way. They don't say X, Y, blah, 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 W, but you can look at it and you know that's what it is. You can call it whatever you want, but that's what it is. All right, so we got that. Now the next thing we want to do is run a wire to this side. And that's what we're gonna do. Gonna do it. Put my glasses on so I can see. All right, where are we on? 15 minutes. It's a 20. It's a taxi at 22, so. These little tiny wires are definitely hard to get a hold of, especially when it's cold out here. Okay, so we're going to go like that. And I like doing these little holes, because it helps guide and control where your wires go. I'm going to solder this one together before I deal with him. He's going to be a pain in the ass. Okay. Don't like it when it moves like that. I don't think that was good. There we go. Now we're good. Look at that nice ball. It's not bad. Okay. Okay, so B plus. We're going to Z. Couple things we're going to do on Z. I'll show you here in a second. Why layout is always important, so you don't have to deal with too much problems when you're dealing with stuff. They have mechanical connection. Best you can. And what we're doing, I said, there's a 10K between each stage. The back's already grounded. We have it back here, so we're fine. We did that in the previous video. These are both the grounds for that. And we're going to put them like this. I've never used these wire round ones before. They're supposed to be all kinds of good for power supplies. So we're going to see. Get in there. Ooh, he didn't win. All right. Okay, so what are we doing from here? And that's what we need to think before we do stupid crap. We are going to the screen, which we are using 1.5s. I have my 1.5 here. Let me go. Actually, no, sorry. 1K, not 1.5, 1K.
Now we have these here. So we are doing, remember, I don't do EL34s too much, so I've got a cheat sheet here. The 1Ks going to 4, right? Yeah, 1Ks are going to 4. So these are screens are on 4. We know that there's 8 and 1, and that's 2, that's 7, because the heater's on 2 and 7. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going 4. Now, like I said earlier, I can get this 2, 3, 4. Ooh, this is definitely going to be a little crowded. So let's see if we can get these things in here. We're going to use, yeah, I should probably make this a little longer. Okay, so we got this. I'm going to do this one direct because it's within reach. Now, which is nice, but I need to power here. I'm going to put it, where'd another one go? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put this one here. I need to cut that one in a magnet, so we're going to here. So we're going to cut this like that, maybe even farther. So he's going here. Get that mechanical connection. I mean, if you're capable of just twisting the crap and going in double, yeah, that's the best way to do it. But it's a lot of times easier said than done. So, well, I could have done that a little better. Okay, so you like that? Yeah, mechanical connection my ass. Yeah, it's freaking sucks. So we're gonna put him in there. Not always that easy. I had him on the other side of here. Then we're gonna, I don't want that high. If I can do this, you can see me on the camera. Not exactly that easy. And we're trying to turn this. Shrink it down. I mean, sometimes you just get a pinch. Oop. Pinch. You just get a pinch. Pinch is good enough. And then you solder the shit out of it. Now we need to get a wire from here to there. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's right, correct? Remember, I haven't built a amp in about 4 years. So, yes. That is right. Screen is on 4. So we're doing that. Yeah. Okay. You want to know what I'm looking at? I found this online. It was nice. Of course, I don't know what's white, red, whatever. I'm going by here because my things are brown and blue. They are not brown and red. So, but it's still right. See, you have your 1 ohms. Your 1 1/8 is going to be tied together, which is here. 1 1/8 tied together, going to there. Then I'm going to bring the 1 ohm resistor down to ground. This is a self-tapping screw. So it should have a pretty good ground because it is literally in the pan. So regardless of the fact that I painted it, we're still fine. And that's the same thing here. I'm going to go directly to ground here. And that's how we're doing that. Okay, so now we have this one. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. Getting this into 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this, yeah. Honestly, yeah. This isn't working. I'm going to need this a lot shorter. A lot shorter. Bam. I think I'm going to put the wire in there first, because these leads are pretty stiff. So that's not going to be a problem. It'll be easier to get him in there. All right, so there to here, so about there. All right, so push everything down so we can get it in there. All right, so it's in there. Let's twist them, or bend them, or crimp them, whatever works. And then because we have that, let's go get this guy. Yeah, I actually think, yeah, this works a lot better. Gonna get them like that. So we're gonna put him in here, like that. And we're gonna remember, these ones got holes on top, holes on bottom, so if you need to use the bottom one instead of the top one, that's always good too. You can also bend these out. I do, on certain things, will bend the hell out of them outward because you don't want them touching. Like these are heaters. I have them bent out like crazy, but be careful. You can break them. Okay, this is longer than I wanted, but I'm not taking it out. I'm going to pinch it in. This will be a little much, but that's the thing with can ones, is you can actually build your thing on the can. The old school ones like this, you're doing this and you're doing stuff like that, which is fine. But if you can build it on the can, sometimes it's nice, sometimes it's a pain in the ass. Okay, it's going to be a lot to heat up. Get that whole thing on there. But it's doing it. Yeah, a little slow, but it's heating. Look at all that. Yeah, all right. I'm going to have to use a lot of solder on this one. Everything connected. Everything connected. Yeah. Let's get this connected to him. All right. You know, I can crimp him just a little bit more. I don't know if I can. Can't quite grip it. Yeah, these stranded wires are a little harder to crimp it on there. So you want triple contact. You want to get this little plate thing, him, and that one. So Make sure everything is soldering to everything. All right. Okay, so I got him. I cramped that up just a bit better. I think we're fine. Yeah, he's actually pretty connected to there. Man, that thing got out quick. All right. And now, that section is done. We need to move on. Get that out of the way. To, is that a Y? We're on a Y. Now, I'm going to hook these up. Hold on. I need to look at my thing. Okay, yeah, the Y. I'm like, where am I hooking these things up to? Remember our thing we have here? That's what we're looking at. We're looking at, there's your, go to the bias spot. Which is here. You got your, there, here. Here's your, there. Our Y. Our Y is here. Okay, so yeah, so this is going to go to the bias spot. The bias spot's going to come back to here. This is where we're putting in our 82 and our 100K, and then we're going to power it there. So let's go get an 82 and 100K. Okay, let's wire that up. Got my 82K resistor. Yeah, I'm going to have to go redo this, because when I go into real world, it's just not right. The things are too close together. But not like a major issue. Okay, and my 100K. You got that a little too short. All right, we're good. Or no, actually pretty good. Okay. There's that. Now, you got to remember, when you're dealing with each half, you need to keep it where it's the right half. These have to be in the right spot. Because one time, I built an amp, and these were reversed, and when I turned it on, it would squeal the most horrific feedback. And I called my engineer buddy that was teaching me. He's like, oh, you have these reversed because you have your negative feedback. Your negative feedback, but because these were reversed, you were getting positive feedback. I was like, well, that's very interesting. So if you put on your amp and you turn on, it's going, whee! Yeah, you may need to reverse these. Something to think about. Where's my wire? Did I lose it? Oh, there it is right here. No? Oh, here it is up here. So we're going to go from, got the Z, going to go from our Y to there. We're just hooking up some power right now. Not really doing the circuits, we're just trying to get the power supply set up. And that is there to here. So about there. God, sometimes you got to use your other pliers. Strip it. Stuff is very difficult to handle when they're so small. Which is why when you're wiring these, you want easy strippable insulation, or you would mess up your pins if you end up going too hard. I think I talked about that on another. Yeah, this is way too long, but that's okay. We'll leave it long. We'll just leave it like that. You're good. Doesn't matter. It's power. Your signal paths, you don't want too long. You want them as short as you possibly can get them, which isn't always easy, but you gotta try. All right. All right. That is powered. These are your resistors to your plates. One of them 82, one's 100K. It's part of the whatever imbalancing of the phase inverter. On the rest of your preamp tubes are going to be 100K unless you're doing something special. So now what we have is, God damn it. Okay, so we screwed up again. So yeah. Next step, we need to go from there to there. No problem, I'll get it on there. It is what it is. So that's what I'm saying. Think of what is the next step, because I'm going to have another, use them all? I need another resistor. Anyway, I thought I had them all here. Oh, there they are. My package of resistors. So, and you have a lot of these, so when your neighbors come over, they think you're a drug dealer or something like that, because you're going to have lots and lots of little Ziplocs. So what I have, and like I said, I like these little holes to guide stuff. So I could have done that and a wire there, but I decided I would rather just run it through here. And yeah, there you go. See it? Run it through the hole and run it directly like that. Like that. That way. Come on. There we go. That's a good pinch. And then this one ends up in the hole like that. Should have done that first, but like that. So there we are. That's there, and that's supposed to run up into there. Huh. I guess I used this hole. I was thinking I was going to have. I used this hole when I was going to use it for that. I don't know if I can get it through there. Let me see. Yeah, we can. So let's get him up there. We're going to pull it out a lot so I can, not too much, but. Get my other pliers here to hold it. And yeah, this needs to go into here because this is our next step. So because I can't quite get it through the hole, I'm going to bring it around the back and I'm going to see if I can wrap it through here. And yes. And then what I'll do, I'll solder it up I got a lot of stuff on these things. It looks a little ugly. Sometimes that's just the way it is. So I get everything back wet again. Oh, you do it. Come on. There we go. There we go. Melty, melty. There we go. Everything's melting. Now you melt it all together. Make it nice and hot. Everyone's happy. All right. So they're connected now. Never said I built the cleanest amps. I know what I'm doing. I'm just not real good at making it super clean. This is actually interesting. Haven't used this like that before, but like I said, I usually use these 6L6s, and this and the grid stop resistor mount on it. The EL34s don't, so I'm having to do something I haven't done before. So it's a little different. Okay, so we are here, and now we're going to put it into there, and like that, cut it here. $20. It's nice new, these nice and sharp, nice. And don't hit the camera. Okay, cool. And then we're going to bring it down underneath here. All right. And let's start that baby. Ready? Boom, boom, just jumping. We're just jumping. Okay, here we go. In here. All right. Then a couple things are going to happen from here. One, we need to jump one more resistor from here to here. We also need to put the leads in for their destinations. Okay, so looks prettier with the numbers. I'm going to put them like that. Just because, why not? When you're looking at it, you know what you're doing, or what you're replacing. So as long as you don't cook your stuff, which you shouldn't be doing, don't cook your resistors, you should be fine. And no, I haven't used, like I said, I haven't used these resistors. I use regular ones, carbon film. I haven't used these wire round ones. They're very big. And I usually haven't used anything with this high wattage. It's really unnecessary. But I was like, let's just go crazy. That sounds good. Let's just go crazy with this baby. Okay, you need to. Okay, I guess you're going inside then. Pinch him, pinch him. They're pinching. Okay, so that's on there nice and good. No more resistors past this one except for your plate resistors. Those are there. So I can move him down a little bit because we need to get some wires in here. Now, I color code, like most people do, saying, so a lot of amps, especially older ones, you're going to see your power is your white, which I'm totally fine with. Power is your white. I don't think I'm doing on this amp because I don't have the different wires, but I will do literally a color for going to the tubes and a color from coming back. I don't have that this time. It's not really necessary, but it's just, I don't know, I just like to do it. So when I'm looking at it, this is a very simple amp. It's not that big of a deal, but You know, think about it. And if you really want to just know, hey, that is a to the tube, that is a from the tube. There are moments, I'm not really thinking of it, the moment where that gets kind of weird. You can go, which one am I using, especially with the cathode followers or something like that. You're like, is this to, is it from? I don't know. But I'm just going to make these jump. I don't know if I'm going to put in the, yeah. You know, let's put in the plate resistors. Might as well since we're here. Said it's kind of hard. The hole. There we go. Get in there. Oop, I am underneath it. There we go. And we have this one, which is our X. We got our X, which is nice. We got our X. Get in there, X. Yes, we have, it goes in, we have the cross, and we have that. There should not be any more connections on this cap. So we should be able to solder it. Everything's getting wet. That should be okay. We always test later. Okay, and where we are with these ones. See, this is where it's going to get a little weird. And you have that coming out. That's your first plate. Your ground. And remember, it's going to be our cathode follower one. So that's going to get a little weird. So what I'll probably do is run it here. This is, just want to make sure we got it here. Yeah, voltage, see, these are 2 plates. Do is this will get a W, this will get a that, but I'm going to run another one off of here because we run a hot directly to the pin and then we run the plate resistor across to the other one, which I'm not doing at this moment, but that is what we're going to do. So let's get this one in here. This got really close. Okay, but we're fine. Let's run the other one. We're going to cut this. This one's going to go to here. Go there. Yeah. That one ain't clean. I'll show you in a second. Let's see. That one I'm good. A little too far. Oh, I just jinxed myself. I probably could have made that longer. Like I said, you don't want to go in too far where you're instantly. The problem is I'm trying to do this and show the camera. It's very hard. You don't want it all the way in. Okay. Okay, so we are connected here. We're going to solder that in. Okay, we're good. Okay, Now this one goes to here, so I'm going to cut it there. Well, it got way longer. Cut it a little shorter. Jesus, get off. What the hell? Okay, good. That one is definitely too damn long. Oh, you cut like crap. Those are old. Okay. Whoa. Why did it do that? That was weird. Trying to cut it. Okay. You can do, sometimes you'll see the power ones twisted. You know, just because, you know, you're trying to reduce any possible hum in there, but I never really had any problems, so yeah, do what you want to do. Let's have a shitty twist. And I don't have it long enough, so we're good. Down to there. Down to there. God, Jesus. Yeah, whatever. You know, I need to cut. I mean, I'm going to do one. I'm not exactly sure where it's going. So I'll put another one in there that's going to go to the tube. Way longer it needs to be. Put him in there. All right. Now we're going to get some 100-watt resistors. 100K resistors, not 100 watt. No. You don't need big beefy ones, but why not? There's like 1 watt. They're still fine. Well, I really need to redo my design on the board because it's too goddamn freaking close together. It's freaking not cool. But hey, longer runs, I guess that is pretty cool. Maybe that's what we actually want. The resistors, they're not polarized. Put them in whichever direction you want. It does not matter. Alright, so those are our plate resistors. 1 to 1. Like here. Well, you can't see what I'm doing. So, there it is. Let's solder this baby in. Hold on. Realizing you can't see anything I'm doing here. Watch it get hot and it'll drop. It's kind of interesting. There we go. Okay. And we're going to do this one. And right there is the power supply. All right. So I'm gonna end the video there. Took a little longer, but then this stuff does take time. It's not a lot of effort. Some of it's a little struggling, some of it's kind of a pain in the ass, but it's not really that hard. You're not out building a fence or anything like that. So I'll see you next time.